we're heading home when the sun's up and we're walking down the middle of George Street next to cars. No one cared. High-fiving people in their suits going to work. Like, what a buzz. I'm Ian Hawkins, and this is Sport is Life. The purpose of sport, as I see it, is to see your vision become a reality. Find your voice, create strong connections, and learn to trust your body. As a proud Aussie and a unashamed league tragic, I've watched that Vegas weekend like I did last year when they started it with so much pride. I actually had a couple of moments both years where just like felt amazing to think like our little game from this corner of the world going and doing something so bold and yeah, like creating this awesome experience. I watched that first year when I was looking at all those fans over there and the buzz, and I was like, man, I've got to get over and experience that. Like the buzz of a crowd, particularly one that's happy, there's nothing like it. I think back to the announcement night when we got the Sydney Olympics. The atmosphere in that crowd that night, I goosebumps even now just thinking about it. The atmosphere in Sydney that night was unbelievable. And then after we got the winning announcement, it was crazy. I remember like as we're heading home when the sun's up and we're walking down the middle of George Street next to cars. No one cared. High-fiving people in their suits going to work. Like, what a buzz. And that's what that not comparable, but the atmosphere in Las Vegas was like something. It just looked like all those people were connected and just having an absolute blast. And I saw the same thing. They did a better job of bringing the fans together, of putting the shows on in that same area, and mate, looked amazing. And again, it's like, to me, it was like the idea of taking rugby league to the world is a bit far-fetched, and I think that's maybe to a certain degree a waste of time and money. Like you look at the AFL, they've never had like real internationals. I know they play those ridiculous international rules games, but they haven't needed to have an international game to have a huge amount of success. And to me, like, we're doing a pretty good job of what we've got here. You know, they'll keep pushing forward that international game, and there's some good things about that. But really, it's like what an awesome way to launch a season, to have such an event that the AFL would kill for that sort of publicity. All of the networks over there, everyone talking about it. I had people talking to me that aren't really league fans going like, oh, wow, like you're watching the game. Like it just started generating interest like nothing else. And again, pride for I'm a lifelong footy fan, like the pride of our not little sport, but it feels a little on a global scale, just doing something so cool and doing it successfully. Yeah, really cool. The element, I guess, the pride is also about, like, you know, Australia again punching above its weight. Maybe it's the working class NRL vibe as well. Again, punching above our weight and taking on things with that sort of working class attitude. Like, we're not going to take shit from anyone. And yeah, I kind of like that. Maybe it's the Aussie underdog spirit. Maybe it's, yeah, maybe, I don't know. Tell me, like, message me. Am I the only one that's feeling like this? Like, I just thought it was cool, and there's part of me hoping that Para will be there in 12 months' time, and that I'll get to go, because I reckon it'll be an extraordinary experience. I've never had any desire to go to Vegas. I've been to the US, but I have no real desire to go back there. But for something like this, I reckon I'd love it. But then again, if they went and played it somewhere else and they had that same sort of vibe going, I reckon that'd be pretty cool too. Yeah. So please message me, email me, you've got the details in the show notes, or find me on socials and send me a message. Let me know what you think. Like, is this something that's worth pursuing? Do you follow other sports and think that they should have a think about doing something similar? Yeah. I don't know if I've got anything more to say about that, but I just thought it was when they first announced it, wasn't sure it was a great idea. And yet when they made it happen and it was all over there, of course, I couldn't wait to sit down and watch it and see how it went. And it was fantastic. And yeah, I think they probably dropped the ball this year by having too many games and spreading the two NRL games out too much. And then, they talked about there wasn't enough crowd left for the game. Still a great TV spectacle, as league always is. But yeah, it can only get bigger and better, I think, for the next 3 years that they've got it booked in. And then who knows where they'll take it next. I heard on one of the podcasts I listened to saying, like, how cool would it be to take it to London, and like how many Aussies are already there, like how many people would make a holiday of it, maybe do a Europe trip tacked on. I know we're not all made of money, and that's maybe not possible for everyone, but I think back to that 2003 England versus Australia game when I was watching. I think it was Upton Park, West Ham's old home ground, like full of like 15, 20,000 Aussies all singing, and the fact that we pumped them 3-1 helped too. But I think if you'd put something like that on in London, that'd be really cool too. All right, I think I'm waffling now, but I just wanted to share my thoughts, my experience, and my joy about something like that, cool like that happening and happening for my sport, NRL. You've taken the time to listen to this whole episode. Now it's time to take action. Commit to one thing you've learned today and make it happen. And to avoid any obstructions, join the Sport is Life movement by clicking on the link in the show notes.